What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we might as well start out with, Captain Obvious. And Captain Obvious is that Jimmy Uso, who is the brother of Jey Uso, who's the cousin of Roman Reigns, who's in the main storyline, not just a storyline, the main storyline of SmackDown, the husband of Raw superstar Naomi, again has been arrested for DUI after cops say he was driving in Florida with a BAC of .05, which is about 3 times over the legal limit there in Florida. So according to the police, Jonathan Fatu was pulled over around 10:35 p.m. on Monday in Pensacola after cops said he ran a red light after being clocked going 50 miles per hour in the 35 miles per hour zone. The officers says during the questioning they smelled booze on the 35-year-old, so they asked him to exit his Dodge Charger. Cops say when Uso got out the vehicle, he was noticeably swaying, and claims that Uso had told them he had consumed multiple beers before getting behind the wheel, because that's smart. Officers say Uso went on to bomb field sobriety test, to bomb it. So they arrested him. Cops claim Uso's blood BAC breath test came back as .202 and .205, well above Florida's legal limit of .08. Let that register for a minute. Florida's legal limit is .08, and this man was pulling a .205. According to jail records, Uso was booked on a misdemeanor DUI charge, and he's currently still behind bars. This article is obviously from a couple days ago. Police, Uso was also hit with citations for speeding and running a red light. His bond was currently set at $500, but it raised to $1,000. And then he still has a court date in August. The fuck. Mm-hmm. Now, once again, this is not the first, second, third, or even fourth time that Jimmy Uso has been, this is like the Matt Hardy shit all over again. It has been pulled over for DUI. And look, when is enough enough? This man clearly has an alcohol problem. And he is not only, it's a very selfish act, because not only are you put yourself in danger, when you get behind the wheel, I know y'all been hearing the PSAs, when you get behind the wheel, you put everybody's life at risk because you want to drive drunk. And then when you do shit like this, you are messing up your brother's career and your wife's career. This shit got to stop. This happened before, and what happened? They took the Usos off TV. This happened before when Naomi actually drove up a one-way street, but she had to drive him because he was drunk and he was trying to fight the cops. Negro, is you crazy? Probably me and you both know that could have ended the wrong way.
Yep, it could have.
That could have ended the wrong. He took his shirt off and was trying to fight these motherfuckers, and I'm just like, yo, do you know what's happening in this world? And I'm like, oh, bruh, there's a issue. Now, you are part of the biggest storyline in WWE, not just Raw or SmackDown. The Roman Reigns Tribal Chief story is the only interesting thing going on in WWE. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, we can agree. Yep, it is.
No matter what story's going on Raw, NXT, or SmackDown, the Roman Reigns Tribal Chief story is the most interesting thing. You are on the biggest and the main storyline on the show and you go and do this shit. Your thoughts, Brian?
Honestly, as far as like him drinking, I can care less about him drinking. It's him driving part that's like the bad part. Because somebody just drinking, they drink all the time, they get drunk, yeah, okay. But him driving is the bad part. That's the part where it's like, all right, you gotta like you can't, this can't keep sliding.
It can't. First of all, like
first of all, he has money to he definitely has money to get an Uber, so it's like no excuse why.
Exactly. He could have the resources for somebody to drive him.
Yes.
He could have the resources for somebody to drive him, but him doing this kind of shit in Florida, Negro, is you crazy?
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense.
It's not.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say it's not like he can't, for one, call somebody, or he can't like even ask, because he can for sure say, "Hey, can you come pick me up?" Or for sure can call an Uber or order Uber, or he can order a whole limo driver to come pick him up. But he decides he wants to drive.
The crazy thing is, remember that one time that he got drunk, but even Naomi drove him. And that's when they was in Detroit, and she went up the wrong way because she got lost, and that's when he's about to try to fight the cop. I'm like, this guy has a problem, bro. You have kids at your house, you have a wife, and you have
I wouldn't say that part of him is a problem. He probably just one of those when he get drunk, he gets crazy. So that I wouldn't personally consider a problem. Drinking is a problem, but like I wouldn't consider him trying to fight a cop his problem. That's his. He different people get drunk different ways. I think that's just his way of getting drunk. Is I want to drive. Or I want to be aggressive.
Yeah, but then if that's
even
the
though
case,
he shouldn't.
Yeah, if that's the case, that's the problem. Because here's the thing. I was in an accident from a drunk driver, and I witnessed kids in an accident. I was on, so I know you've heard a lot about Philly, right? Mm-hmm. So have you heard of anything called Roosevelt Boulevard or the Bully?
The what?
Well, the urban use up here call it the Bully, but
okay.
But it's called Roosevelt Boulevard.
I have not heard of it, but I have heard this story, so I know where you're going.
Okay, yeah. So they, for those who have not heard it, because I know I said it on the show before, but it's probably one of them Jimmy Uso shows, and me and my mother and my sister were sitting at this red light on the boulevard. Now the boulevard is like a mini highway. It's like there's 6 lanes. There's like 3 lanes. Then it divides to another 3 lanes. And there's a big island in the middle. Then it goes to another. Then on the opposite side, it's another 3 lanes. Then it's divided. And there's another 3 lanes. So it's like all together, it's like 12 lanes on this joint.
Mm-hmm.
But it's residential neighborhood everywhere. So it's not the actual highway, but it's kind of the highway. And they just be speeding down this thing on the boulevard. And there are so many. We have so many accidents and deaths on the boulevard alone up here in Philly because of everybody. As soon as everybody talks about boulevard, they be like, "Oh my God, watch out for the boulevard." So this drunk driver smashes this car head on, and that car comes with so much force it smashes our car. Then the car drives around us, and then goes onto another street. And it crashes head onto this family of like 6. And I'm just like, because he was drunk. Now, I'm lucky I made it. The guy behind me is lucky he made it. My mom, my sister made it, and of course my and the family. They may have had injuries, but to my knowledge, they seem to be okay. But there are a lot of families out there that don't have that happy ending because of drunk driving. And if he's a wrestler, okay, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of mental stuff that goes into the wrestling. I'm not a wrestler. I don't have the wrestling schedule for travel. I don't work with wrestling man, know the stress level. I just don't. So yes, wrestlers are going to go to different ways to help them with the pain when it comes to drinking or drugs. We know that. That's how wrestling is. But then right now, it's becoming such a problem. Like, I remember Jey Uso's name was in there once, but I've heard Jey Uso's name once opposed to Jimmy's.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Jey is trying to get himself together and like, yo, I ain't trying to, because it's like, yo, if you mess up, I don't eat because we a team.
I think Jey is just being smarter about it.
Yeah, he probably is being smarter about it.
Getting right, like, because from stories that I know Haku, all the Samoan Dynasty, they are known to like get like drunk to where they like beating people up and all that.
Yeah,
this is well documented. But I think Jey is like, all right, I gotta chill, I gotta get a ride, I gotta ride with somebody if I know I'm going to drink or something like that. Jimmy, I just feel like he just don't care about, you know. I can do it even though he can't, you know, type of thing.
I think he feels as though that he's like 10 feet tall and bulletproof. Which at a young age we all feel that way, but I'm like, but I think he really feels that way, but I don't think he realizes that this thing, because we will get to SmackDown in a minute, but people in WWE have been fired for less. A lot less. And WWE didn't even put out their statement of saying, you know, Jimmy Uso or Jonathan Fatu is responsible for his actions. They didn't put out anything.
That's probably a copy and paste.
It is. And somebody didn't even take time to copy and paste this joint. At all. I'm like, he better sit there and kiss the feet of Roman Reigns, because it's the only reason why this man got a job. It's the only reason why this man, you know, because right now, the way Jey Uso has proven himself in the past year, in reality, they don't need him. Tell me I'm lying.
He was out for a whole year.
He was out for a whole year, and Jey Uso stepped up.
Yeah.
Did Jey Uso not step up?
He did.
He did, to the point I was like, yo, in reality, in this storyline, he could get beat up, and they don't need him. They can just go right back to how it was. They doing him a favor. And then, of course, you know, Naomi, this past week, had to delete her Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing it's because of all the shit, because that's her husband. And
yep.
Probably all the shit that she's been getting about this. Because that's what I'm saying. It's a selfish act, because they're going to light up her Twitter by saying, well, why ain't you getting him some help? Or why ain't you doing this? Or why aren't you doing that? Or maybe he should be fired. Or, you know, he shouldn't be doing it. Like, so somebody is talking and stepping over your husband's name.
Mm-hmm.
It's already embarrassing. It's already embarrassing. Because whatever he do, she's associated with that man. Like, there's no way she can even get around it. And now they about to go back to live crowds. When she start getting booed, it ain't because of her, it's because of Jimmy. It's association. She's guilty by association. And then, who knows what this woman has tried to do? Who knows what she has tried to do? She could have, but once again, when it comes to these kind of things, when it comes to, I am sympathetic to when it comes to like addiction. Addiction is a very strong disease. And if you want to fight addiction, you have to be the one that want to get help. They can take them to rehab and do whatever they want to do, but if they don't want to do it, you know, look, DDP didn't make Jake Roberts stay at his house. DDP didn't make Scott Hall stay at his house. They had to want to do that. Am I right?
Yep.
You gotta want. They can take him to all the meetings they want to. They can have all the interventions they want to. And the same thing happened with Umaga. The same thing happened with Umaga when he had a drug problem, and they said you need to go to rehab, and they was going to pay for it. He said no. And they said, well, you either go to rehab and get fixed, or you lose your job. And he said no. And guess what? He got fired. Mm-hmm. And then died not too long later. You ask yourself, is it worth it? Because pretty soon...
Is it? Yeah, I don't think so.
It isn't worth it. And because pretty soon, like, I think the reason why this is happening is because he ain't hit rock bottom yet. Like, in order, like, for people to truly change, they gotta hit rock bottom. And I mean to the point where it may have to be a thing where he get fired, but they don't fire the USO, they just fire him, and Jay keep doing his thing, and then Naomi leave him. Kind of like how Vicky Guerrero said, to talk about Eddie Guerrero, like when he overdosed for the third time on the couch, she just left, and she just said, God, if you're gonna take him now, because I can't do this no more. Your spouse, I'm married. Your spouse, and if you do anything for that person, but if that person does not want to help themselves over and over again, and they're being self-destructive to themselves and everybody else around them, what more can you do?
Mm-hmm.
And we already know how not kind the internet is.
Oh, very, especially the IWC.
The IWC, oh please, it's not kind at all. So what the hell do you think they say to Naomi? They probably say some crazy shit to Naomi right now.
Yeah.
To the point where they had to delete her Twitter, especially after seeing what happened on Smackdown. That don't help neither.
Mm-hmm.
This thing, what's happening? You can't coddle this man because of a storyline. A storyline that truly does not need him in the first place. He came in to join the play because he was out injured. And that's what happened. It was like, okay, it's cool to have you, but we don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of like, when if Brett Favre was trying to come back to Green Bay, it's like, okay, well, we got Aaron Rodgers. You left. He stepped up. He was great, but now you're trying to come back. We don't need you. You want to be here? Cool. It's cool to have your name on our roster, but we don't need you. You know what I'm saying? So
we'll see what happens with this. This is I won't be surprised if he get beat up for the next, next month.
But
maybe.
don't you think some more should happen other than just eating dog shit?
Oh yeah, but knowing who his cousin is, we never know.
I'm about to say, if this was Elias is fired.
Oh yeah.
If this was Elias, if this was Shelton Benjamin, if this was just any random, if this is Baron Corbin, fired. These guys are gone. Say goodbye to future endeavors and whatever the case may be. But no, he's working with Roman. They got the best storyline going on WWE, and they're on SmackDown, and then they're trying to build up something with The Rock. This whole thing is crazy.